I didn't have to do this. I could have left. I could have fled. But no, I will no longer run. If not for me, for my children, for my brothers and sisters that you I did it for them.
When I think of the philosophical term of subjectivity, I think about the self and one's thoughts, either about someone else or about my constructed self. Alexander and Rhodes talk about corporate subjectivity and how it may affect composition. They use the Virginia Tech event that occurred in 2007 to show how agency in terms of subjectivity may be altered and used to inform composition in the classroom. My 2 cents of this conversation of agency and subjectivity deals with the notion of self and media in the classroom. Technology, in this instance, here allows me to reproduce my 2 cents of this conversation of agency and subjectivity deals with the notion of self and media in the classroom. Technology, in this instance, here allows me to reproduce digital multimedia texts that are mediated through different means. My responses, such as this particular video, are accessible through public forums such as YouTube. My agency is created through these video responses, and although my subjectivity may be seen by my classmates as creative or non-creative, they still hold a space in the public sphere, which defines me. Jonathan Alexander and Jacqueline Rhodes are perhaps even more insistent in their book on multimodality, New Media and Composition Studies, about the need to increase interaction when engaging in media spaces. Furthermore, they speak about the multimodal subject, arguing of the importance of writing through disciplining subjectivities. These media spaces become literacy spaces, where play and experimentation are ways of understanding how people compose. One way of finding subjectivity and agency is through the use of computers and composition. ¿Cómo encontraremos autonomía en el uso de computadoras en literatura y clases de composición? Computers and composition offer students a mode of reflective endeavors in their personal and academic pursuits. Whether students focus on extended assignments or use digital media as a mode of rhetorical significance, digital rhetoric in the compositional classroom can promote critical learning to take place. Composición en lecturas de inglés conjuntas con computación son reflectivas hacia la persona y las metas académicas del individuo, ya sea que el enfoque de estudiantes sea con tecnología digital o modos significantes en la clase de composición, puede que promueva pensares críticos en el aprendizaje. Puede promover aprendizaje crítico. When students use the common and traditional textual strategies in tandem with computers, that goes beyond the gaze of the viewers, offering an evocative space. Cuando estudiantes usan textos tradicionales que provocan estrategias comunes junto con computación, es cuando retórica generativa se convierte en un útil manipulativo que va más allá de la mirada del espectador, ofreciendo un espacio provocativo, usualmente técnicamente y textualmente abierto para diversión. If indeed composition and production are a continuum, as Alexander and Rhodes quoted Daniel Anderson, then critical composition spaces are an active construction of knowledge that allows for examining rhetorical dimensions. Agency then becomes important to the student. Implicit here is the notion that subjectivity and agency in specific modalities, video, photo, and gaming manipulation, they point to a greater sense of subjectivity. As Alexander and Rhodes note, understanding writing as a mode of disciplining subjectivity can lead toward discourses of subjective normalization. Furthermore, Taking discourses where writing becomes normative can be disrupted and challenged when students are segued into opportunities to using writing in the classroom as a way to think through affective moods and critical events, allowing students to make conscious choices of how they feel. To disrupt normative discourses may mean to bring an abstract discourse, one taking the focus from what social structures deem normal.
I didn't have to do this. I could have left. I could have fled. But no, I will no longer run. If not for me, for my children, for my brothers and sisters that you I did it for them.
Sadistic snobs, I may be nothing but a piece of You have vandalized my heart, raped my soul, and torched my conscience. You thought it was one pathetic boy's life you were extinguishing. Thanks to you, I die, like Jesus Christ, to inspire generations of the weak and the defenseless people. Do you know what it feels like to be spit on your face and have trash shoved down your throat? Do you know what it feels like to dig your own grave? Do you know what it feels like to have your throat slashed from ear to ear? Do you know what it feels like to be torched alive? Do you know what it feels like to be humiliated and be impaled upon on a cross and left to bleed to death for your amusement? You have never felt a single ounce of pain your whole life, yet you want to inject as much misery in our lives as you can, just because you can. You had everything you wanted. Your Mercedes wasn't enough, you brats. Your golden necklaces weren't enough, you snobs. Your trust fund wasn't enough. Your vodka and cognac weren't enough. All your debaucheries weren't enough.